Hey guys, I'm Allison. I'm glad you're here today. So today I'm going to do a review and swatch video of the Chasing Rainbows palette. I have done at least 4 very different looks with this palette. And I have played around with it for the past week and a half. And so I have some thoughts on it. So I want to share those thoughts with you, and I'm also going to be doing swatches. So first, let's just go ahead and talk about the packaging. It comes in this like iridescent sleeve. So you slide the palette out like that, and then you can see there's like a, iridescentness to it. I think I just made up a word, kind of like opalescence, but anyway, it comes in that, and then you have this like bluey, purpley pink tone to the palette, and it's really pretty. The names are on the back. I believe this palette was $20, something like that, made in the USA. And then here is the inside. These are the shadows you get. And there's a little quote that says, "Keep your head in the clouds." And you get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 shades in this palette. So I have used every shade between my looks. Any videos related to this palette I will leave in the cards, link down below. I'll try and remember to do all that. Sorry if I fail at that, guys. Sometimes it's just like hard to just even get a video up. So but yeah, I'll try my best. So here are the 15 shades you get. There is a mix of matte, shimmer, mattes with glitters, and then there's a couple of topper shades. I'm going to go through this and tell you because I discovered some things about these shadows. So, the other thing I want to say before we get into like talking about each individual color is this palette to me looks more like a unicorn palette than a rainbow palette. The name of the palette is Chasing Rainbows, so where's my Roy G. Biv? I definitely don't see it, but I also understand why they wouldn't want to market it as a unicorn palette because it's been done and that trend has kind of died down. But this, to me, it's just not a rainbow palette. So to have the name rainbow in the palette, now I don't think that that makes the palette any less pretty. I really do like this palette and the looks I've created with it for the most part, except for kind of one, and I'll get to that. But yeah, it's just not a rainbow palette. It looks to me like kind of like a mystical, pretty unicorn. So, okay, here we go. We're gonna start. I'm just gonna try and swatch these shadows, and then I'll talk about the shades. Okay, so here are the shadows all swatched out. If you want, you can take like a pause it and take a screenshot if you want to refer back to what these shadows look like. I'm kind of a person that's like, swatches don't matter as much as how they apply on the eyes. So let's just go in and talk about each shade. So this shade right here wiggles. You can't even see it on my hand. It's like up here. It's just the same as my skin tone. Like, let me just kind of show you. See how that just kind of blends in there? Like you just can't. You can kind of see it there. That's with 2 layers. It's right here. So if you're a person who likes to set their primer, that'd be in my skin tone, that'd probably be a perfect shadow for you. I don't really set my primer anymore, ever. But yeah, anyway, so it's probably one I won't get much use out of. Okay, moving on to Blurred Lines right here. Blurred Lines is a topper shade I discovered. It swatches like on the finger, like look at that. That's impressive. But when you get it on your eyelid, there's just not enough like base color there. Like this is not what it looks like on the eyelid, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, that's 2 layers there, right there. But I don't know. I just found that it doesn't build up that well on the eyelid. It has these really pretty gold flecks in it though. So, you know, you might be able to work with it, and maybe it was my application. I rarely use a brush to put on my eyelid shades. I just prefer to use my finger. It's just so easy. But maybe if you use a brush and wet the brush, it would give you more of that, because that's kind of a blingin' color right there. So I found on me it looks more like a topper. But okay, here we have So Meta, and that is this shade right here. So Meta is a really, really pretty yellow gold shade, and I love it paired with these blue shades here. I think it's such a pretty look. I did that in my Get Ready With Me recently, so if you want to see a look using with all those colors together, I'd definitely go check out that video, because that was probably my favorite look with the palette. This right here is probably my second favorite look with the palette. I don't even know if I mentioned I am wearing this palette today on my eyes. Okay, Feeling It is one of those mattes with glitters in it, but you can't even see the glitter even when I just swatched it out really quick. It's just not even there, but you can definitely see it in person. Realness is just a matte kind of warm brown shade that works really well. If you cover up this half of the palette, you really have, and take that shadow out, but this row here and then this one and this one make a really pretty kind of neutral smoky eye, and I did do that look, and I really did like that look. So I'm just not wearing a whole lot of neutral eyes lately. I've been all about color, as you can see today. But these work really well. They blend really nice and everything. And then, okay, moving on to the second row, we have Woke. This is a nice kind of salmon-y color, I guess. And it's a matte, a traditional matte. You can see it right here, swatched out. It's not a very good swatch of it. There you go, right there, the second one. And then we have Wish List, which is kind of a pretty corally when I put it on, to be really. It's a pretty corally shade, but I do like those mixed with the blues too. And I did a whole look with this row here. It turns out very monochromatic, to be fair, but because these shades kind of just blend into the pink the way I did it, and it looked pretty, but I tend to not do a whole lot of monochromatic looks. I like, you know, pairing different colors together like I have today. And then we have Manifest It. That's another matte with glitters. You can't even really see the glitters, just, I don't know where they go. Back up into the clouds. They just kind of disappear. But so it works really well in the crease, and I'm just loving pink in my crease lately. I just love it, love it, love it. And then we have Keep Cool, which is a nice kind of, did I swatch that one? I don't think I did. Where did it go? There it is right there. I thought I had it on there. I don't think I did though. Weird. Maybe that's what this one was supposed to be up here. But I really like this on the lower lash line because it kind of gives a little bit of a pop of color, but still kind of pulls neutral. So I really like that one. And then moving on to the last, oh, nope, Not Plain. Not Plain is a pretty traditional shimmer shade. I would say it's a shimmer, not a topper. It's this one right here. That's what's on the center of my lids today. Now moving on to the last row, Lucid. I was kind of disappointed with Lucid because it's, again, one of those shades that, like, look at that swatch. There's some duochrome-ness to it, but when I go to pat it on my eye, it just, all of that pigment just kind of goes away, and it just ends up being kind of a sparkly topper. This would have been a really great shade had it been more pigmented. I don't understand how it looks pigmented on my finger. You know, even the swatch out here, right here, looks pretty pigmented. And then when you put it on your eye, it's just like, well, I don't want to do that today, so I'm just gonna sparkle and not give you a whole lot of color payoff. It just, yeah, it just kind of bummed me out. But anyway, moving on to these two colors here. This is Bring It. This is a matte. The one thing about Colourpop's mattes that I've discovered, because it's like this in the Zodiac palettes too, they're just a little bit harder for me to blend, like just the straight up matte shades. Matte, and really the matte colorful shades. I don't know if it's just how they're formulated, but you really kind of have to pack them on to get what you want out of them. And then I tried to pair these two together and I didn't end up loving how it looked because you could just see kind of a harsh line. It just wasn't blended the way I like it, basically. So anyway, yeah. But I loved it with this shade here and that look that I did with the yellow, because this kind of covers up any, like, this shimmer is pigmented enough that it covers up any harsh lines when you go to apply it. And I think this would probably be pretty on the lower lash line as well. This is the one I have on my lower lash line today, though. This is on one. Here it is right here. Just a really pretty, deep, kind of bluey shimmer. And I really like it paired with this pink. Then we have Eclipse. Eclipse is a straight up shimmer shade. It's gorgeous, especially if you like to stay in the neutral family there. It's really pretty, pairs really well with this Keep Cool shade here. Just looks really pretty together. And finally we have Prism, which is basically like a, it's kind of a more gray toned black, I would say. Not the blackest black, but that's okay. That's something, I don't want the blackest black all the time. This like blends out really nicely. So it's easy to use to kind of smoke up an everyday look. So, okay guys, that is the palette. I have enjoyed playing with this. There's so many different, you know, like you can really play around with color combinations with this palette. And I've just had fun playing with it. I really like Colourpop shadows as a whole. I think they're really good quality, and I hate to say it for the money, but because they're just good quality shadows regardless of the money. So those are my thoughts on the Chasing Rainbow palette. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to see some looks, remember to check out my other videos using the palette. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!